What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. We're back for a Friday. We're going to get right into it, Papa Dude, because we got a game getting ready to kick off that we got to cover. So I'm going to put this one up on the screen first. Get right into it. Clemson at -3.5 now against Kentucky to kick off the bowl action today. Total sitting at 43.5. Quickly, who you got in this one?
I like Clemson even more now. That's come down from 4.5, I believe, yesterday down to 3.5. So there's some money being bet on Kentucky. I think this is two teams that are going to play hard. Clemson's kind of rebounded, kind of won 3 in a row, I think, going into this one. Probably would have beat Florida State if they had been in the ACC championship game.
Yeah.
Kentucky, big win over Louisville. They're playing well, too. This will be a really good game, I think. I'm going to go with the Tigers and the 3.5.
Yeah, I will as well. I do think this will be a competitive game. We kind of saw yesterday we had some games where it looked like people cared, and I think it's going to continue in this one. I think they'll play pretty hard, but I'm with you. I'm going to go with Clemson. All right, Oregon State, Notre Dame. I'm not sure the motivation on either one of these sides. This might kind of be a dog of a game. We'll see. They're Notre Dame 6-point favorites here. Oregon State's lost a bunch. Total sitting at 40.5.
Yeah, this one's tough because Notre Dame's quarterback's out.
Yeah.
Oregon State's quarterback's out, and their coach is gone. They've lost a lot. So you got to go with Notre Dame in this. Hope they're ready to go. I think this might be a good game if they do care, because Notre Dame is not real good on offense. But I think they shut down Oregon State enough to win and cover.
I just don't think Oregon State is the type of team that can afford all the losses they've had as far as people opting out or the transfer portal or the coaching situation. Overall, their program situation is kind of in a sad state because they're kind of left out conference-wise. I just feel like Notre Dame, even though they've got opt-outs as well, I think they get it done. So I'm going to go Notre Dame as well. All right, we're rapid fire through these here. The main event tonight is Missouri and Ohio State. This line just keeps moving. Missouri does have a couple of injuries, but still, Ohio State now -5, total sitting at 49.5. Who do you like tonight in the main event?
Well, who's hurt?
Missouri's got a couple of defensive injuries that I read about this morning.
They got the quarterback and they got the wide receiver, right?
Their main guys on offense are all playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I took Missouri yesterday. I definitely will today with that point spread up to 5. Ohio State, I don't know how good their next quarterback is. They don't have their best receiver. You're going with the uniform, and I understand that, but are you still going there with that point spread up to 5?
Yep, I'm going with the uniform. Give me Ohio State. I don't know. I just feel like they'll be able to beat them. I know they're missing some players, but I don't know. I just feel like they'll beat them.
Yeah. Well, I see where you're going with it. I got a little bit more faith in Missouri. I think they're pretty good.
They are.
It's crippled. Yeah. So, I think this might be a good game. I think Missouri's going to care. That's for sure. This is a 100% huge game for them. Yep. I'm not sure on Ohio State. That's the deal. I don't know whether they will that much or not. They only lost one game that no one's talking about them. Maybe they can get a little respect back. I don't know if that matters to them or not. Yeah. It should be a good one, though.
I think Missouri should win this game. I don't know. At the end of the day, I just kind of feel like they won't. I can't put my finger on it. So, but I definitely feel like Missouri, they're going to care. But I think Ohio State will have enough in them to care as well. And I think they'll get it done. So, I think Missouri's had a good year regardless of what happens in this game. So I will say that. Yeah.
And Ohio State has 2. They only lost 1 game.
Yeah.
There's
one more bowl game. We're going to save it. That's going to be your best bet today. So we will save that. Let's go into the horse racing. Oakland's back today after their hiatus of a couple of weeks there. They're back. We're going to go race 9 Oakland Park for the race of the day today. An allowance event here. Going 1 mile on the dirt, obviously, at Oakland. The 1 is scratched, Camp David. So it leaves us with a field of 11. Papa Dude, who do you like in Oakland's 9th today?
Well, you picked out a doozy, I think.
It's a tough one.
Yep. I think the morning line favorite is 7-2.
Yeah.
So that tells you this one's a toughie. And it's one of those at Oakland, man, it's hard to get these right.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much a full field. They're all about the same. There's a lot of ways you can go. I settled on the one that has been running the best, but he's been running at small tracks, and that's number 12, Heroic Move.
Yep.
Trained by Diodoro, who runs extremely well at Oakland. And I believe he's got Christian Torres as the jockey as well. This all the signs point to this being the one you go with because Diodoro runs extremely well there. The problem is he's way on the outside. Is that going to be a big deal in this race? He's running better races, but they've been at Prairie Meadows, they've been at Zia, they've been at Remington. So this is, a little bit of a different thing, but he's keeping it. He's not putting the horse in a stakes race. He's keeping it in an allowance. Yeah. He's coming off a good second last time out at Zia, so he's in good form. And we know how Diodoro is. So I like him. But Diodoro's got another one in there too, the 7, that kind of scares me. Greener Pastures. This is a claim. He claimed him for 62.5 last time out, and he puts him in an allowance. We've seen Diodoro do this.
Yeah.
That means he likes the horse. And if you're a conspiracy theorist, like a lot of people know, thinks Diodoro cheats a little bit, he might spruce this one up some, but I think this is a scary one. The other one's, of course, Creative Minister, but that's a McPeak horse that's been everywhere, hasn't won, hasn't run bad, but hasn't won. I can't pick it. So I'm going to go with the 12, Heroic Move.
It goes through Diodoro. It's the 7 or the 12 here, I think. And by the way, Diodoro's back from what? A suspension. Why? From cheating. So if you think he does, well, it's because he does. So, but listen, first
he does it well at Oakland too.
Right, he does, and it has for years. And we caught him. We gave him 10 days. Anyway, he's back. I'm kind of with Dennis. I think off the claim, that horse, the 7, Greener Pastures, pretty darn interesting. Didn't really run all that well in that claiming race that he claimed him out of, but moving up, I think, and getting Ricardo Santana aboard as well, I think that one will be tough. On paper, the 12 is probably the better horse, so we'll see what that means. A lot of times it doesn't mean a lot with the Diodoro first off the claims, but I think you can use him 7, 12 and move on. I really don't have any interest in playing the 9. Maybe underneath, but I don't have any interest in like multi-races or to win. So the 9 Creative Minister is not really one. I've got a ton of interest to play. I thought at a price, the 3 Tahoe Run made a little bit of sense. Not great last time out, but you scratch that race off, has been pretty decent, ran decent at Oakland at times last year. So I thought at 15-1, he made a little bit of sense. But on top, I'm with you. I think it's the 7 or the 12. I think you put those 2 on top and then kind of sprinkle around who you want to sprinkle around underneath.
Yeah, you're right about Tahoe Run, too. I believe that's the one trained by Mac Robertson, right?
Yep.
And, he runs pretty well at Oakland as well. That horse ran really well at Hawthorne this fall and winter. And I think that's when they run. Anyway, it was summer, I don't know. But he ran really well, won a couple times. So it's kind of a sleeper. If things break right, that horse could get up there. But one thing about Diodoro, you have, we all think he cheats. And he has been suspended before. But I tell you what, you got to watch him because when he claims one and moves it up into an allowance, that's a good sign that he likes the horse.
Yeah, I mean, my new theory on it is it's not my job to catch him. It's not my job to punish him. It's my job to handicap. And I'm just going to look at the sheet and say, well, here's the angles, and I'll just tell you what I think. And
it's a good angle to play.
Exactly. We're talking about handicapping, and that's all I really care about. And
hey, we're not commissioners.
Well, at the end of the day, I just kind of decided that like you could get mad about the stuff that you see every day that happens every single day and nobody listens and they just go on and they do it, or you can just do your job and handicap the races. And so that's
all
what
I know is Diodoro has made me a lot of money at Oakland.
I mean, he's made a lot of people a lot of money.
That's right.
So it's again, I handicap the race that's in front of me, and that's just what I'm going to do. So I think you'd be crazy not to play him in the spot today for sure.
After he's won me $50, I'll shake his hand.
I mean, that's at the end of the day, that is the reality that we live right now. So Yeah. So anyway, happy to see him back. He's on the card a lot the next 3 days.
If you can't beat him, join him, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Oh yeah. It is what it is, right? Yeah, that's not to go down this rabbit hole, but these people on Twitter when Bob Baffer got disqualified and he beat, Bob Baffer knocked a lot of these guys on Twitter allegedly out of bets and stuff for the Derby. And it's like, you guys have just rag on Brad Cox constantly, but yet you played his horse in the Derby, and you rag on Doug O'Neill and you had him underneath. And it's like, it's just hilarious sometimes. But anyway, all right, let's move on here. Let's go to the best bets. We've been rapid fire through this. We'll stick with horse racing. We're going to go to Magic. So Magic counts today because his horse did not scratch. This is one he sent me, and he is running in this race. He went to Turfway Park race 6 today. He likes the number 2 Viscountess. This horse, it's an allowance race. This horse broke the maiden over a synthetic surface at Presque Isle. Last time out second, only beaten a length at Turfway Park over this service, obviously. Changes trainers today. It wasn't a claim. I don't know. They're just kind of moving this horse around. I'm not sure the backstory on that because this isn't mine. This is Magic's, but he thinks the 2 will be very tough to hold off today. Second time on the surface, second time at the level. I took a quick look at this one as well, and I didn't consider it for a best bet, but I do have this horse on top. So Magic likes Turfway Park race 6. The 2 today, Dennis, was at Turfway. Dennis, I had a great night at Turfway. I forgot to tell you this. He was at Turfway live. I'm trying to remember. It was race. Let me remember. Race 7. I hit the exact $50 there. The 3 over 4 5s when I played. It came in 3-4. So yeah, I'm loving Turfway as well. So I like Magic's call with this one. All right, let's move on here. I'll go to mine next. I went to Delta Downs today. That's a track that I scored with, I think is maybe not last week, but the week before. So I'm going to go Delta Downs, race 8, the number 4 Basalt Street. I think this horse is going to be really tough. Came off of a layoff last time out. Ran it at Fairgrounds against Overcharged, who's a pretty nice horse. Just lost by a nose in a stakes race there for Louisiana breds. And I thought ran extremely well. Gets to Delta today, easier competition. I think he's going to get the job. I guess should say she. I think she's going to get the job done here. Picks up Thornton, who's the best jockey there at Delta Downs as well. So I thought that was a good sign. So I really like the number 4 in the 8th tonight at Delta Downs. All right, Papa Dude, who you like?
Well, I hope you boys come through because some people never learn, and I'm one of them. Here I am going to these damn bowl games again.
I know.
And I don't know why. But this one has just, I can't get it out of my head. Memphis it's a home game for them. They're pretty good. They're 9-3. They lost by 5, I think, at Missouri. SMU beat them. Tulane beat them. So they don't have a bad loss. They're 9-3. They're at home. Iowa State is 7-5. And I deeply admire how Iowa State plays. I love how they play. I love how they're coached. But I don't know that they're 10.5 points better than Memphis. And I think Memphis will be ready to play.
Yeah.
I think it means something. I checked it out. Their quarterback is playing.
Yep.
And they can score. Their issue is, can they stop Iowa State enough to win? But I like 10.5 point underdogs at home that have a really good offense. And Memphis does. And I think they can score enough points. I think both teams will be ready to play. I think this will be a good game and fun to watch because I do. If you like good, sound, fundamental football, watch Iowa State.
Yeah.
They're fundamentally sound. They may get beat, but it's not because they don't know what they're doing. It's because the other team's got more talent. They don't beat themselves very often, kind of like that other team in Iowa. So I hate picking against them, but I just think Memphis is going to cover that 10.5.
Yeah, I like the play. I don't really like playing bowl games like I've kind of talked about, but I do like the play. I think it makes a ton of sense. I think that we'll play pretty good game tonight, or I guess it's today. It's afternoon, and so we'll see what happens. But I would just I would just caution anybody playing bowls. That's where I'll go with. I don't know.
I know.
I don't think this will be as big a home game as you think. I think Iowa State will have more people, honestly.
Well, they might. And by
We'll
the
see.
way, how many people were from Oklahoma at that game last night? My God.
The whole crowd.
I don't know how many people were actually there. It looked like it was a pretty good crowd. There had to be 50,000 from Oklahoma.
Yep.
I was surprised there were that many there.
There was a lot of people there. A lot of people there last night, for sure. They saw a real good game. Yeah. All right. Let's get into the best bets today. I'm going to go Delta Downs race 8, number 4. Magic's going to go Turfway Park race 6, number 2. Papa Dude's going Memphis plus 10.5. 0-2. We did not do good yesterday. Minus 200. Only up 120 for the year now. We got this show and we got tomorrow. No show on Sunday, New Year's Eve. So this show and tomorrow, all that's left of the year. So it'll be interesting. See how it shakes out. I know you're probably dying to talk about it. Tell us why Oklahoma is in trouble and it's over and we should quit.
I wasn't dying to talk about it. No, I don't think it's over. You can't win a game when you turn it over 6 times. I don't know. I'm just so frustrated because we can't finish games, seems like.
Yep.
Had that game under total control last
night. That game was headed for a blowout in Oklahoma's favor.
And can't keep from fumbling the ball. And just I don't know. They've lost 3 games and they've lost all 3 the same. They can't finish them off. They can't make a big play when they have to.
Yeah.
I thought they lost the game when it was 21-13. They had the ball on the 5-yard line going in to make it 28-13. Got stuffed 3 times, running the damn ball, and had to kick a field goal. And I thought that was huge. But then they came back and got a stop, and we're moving it down again. Obviously, the fumble picked up and ran back into the end zone. That was not an interception. I think they did change that to a fumble, didn't they?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That was the game, and it wiped out a really good defensive performance. I thought they had Arizona throttled, and Arizona's going to score some points. I mean, their offense is too good not to. And when you give them as many points as Oklahoma did, I'm just worried about. There's so many things on offense. I'm not worried about the defense. I thought the defense played great last night.
Yeah.
He said, well, hell, they gave up 38 points. No, they didn't. The offense gave them, 21?
Yeah.
I'm just worried about they can't finish games. They have questionable play calling. They lose their number 1 playmaker in Drake Stoops.
Yep.
Who's going to replace him? How many clutch plays does this guy – if every team had a team full of him, you'd never lose a damn game. You would never lose a game. This guy is unbelievable what he does. He's a midget. He gets the literal shit knocked out of him. I don't think you could hurt him if you hit him in the head with a sledgehammer, do you?
No, it'll be interesting to see if somebody takes a chance on him.
Oh, I think they will. I don't know if he makes it or not because he's just so dang small.
He's too small.
The pros are just going to get massacred by those guys, I don't know if he can stand up or not. But anyway, they lose him. The offensive line's a mess. I think they can get that straightened out through the portal, hopefully. And I'm just concerned, have they lost that touch to finish games? Because that's what they used to do in these kind of games. That's what concerns me. Maybe I'm not worried about the quarterback. I thought he showed a lot. He made mistakes you're going to make. And let's not forget, Arizona is really good.
I don't think Arizona's very good.
Well, they're pretty good.
OU, if OU scores and doesn't have a guy that is supposed to be one of your steadiest players fumble the ball, OU's up 31-13. They've scored 31 straight points.
Yeah.
Arizona's gotten like 10 yards during this time. Oklahoma probably wins that game by at least 2 touchdowns.
But they didn't. And
I don't think if Arizona's really good, then we are really good. and we're not. So
I thought after the first quarter, Oklahoma played fantastic.
They killed them. I mean, they just killed them.
You got to give. I mean, that shows we've got it. There's stuff there, but we can't maintain it. And it just it's a worry. They did the same thing at Kansas. They did the same thing in Oklahoma State. They should have won both games, but they couldn't make a play when they had to. That's a concern. And they're going to get some new blood in there. They're going to have some additions. They're highly regarded. That should help. That should help.
Yeah,
but we'll just have to see. Anyway, I think who was it here? I want to mention this too because this pisses me off. Oh, Curtis says Arizona went on a 25-0 run right after the Boss said they had it in the bag on national TV.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there, but Boss shouldn't have anything to do with it. He was a disgrace to OU football back 30 years ago. Now he's one of the spokesmen. Come on, OU. You're better than that. I'm sorry.
Well, end of the day, bowl games don't matter. No. I mean, I stopped caring about bowl games as far as what they project towards next year after Oklahoma beat Alabama in 13, and then everybody thought, wow, they're going to be awesome, and they were horrible in 2014 with the same players that beat Alabama. So they really don't matter. I think the bigger problem for OU is they lost 3 games this year, and they really beat themselves.
They did, and that's a concern.
That's a huge concern. And it's not just last night; it's the other 2 they lost. Last night was the worst because they literally just handed Arizona the
themselves. Game. Yes,
yeah,
but
it doesn't. End of the day, it doesn't matter.
If they didn't beat themselves, they might be where Texas is.
That's the reason they're not is because they beat themselves. And maybe they're not in the playoff, but they're in they're playing Ohio State tonight instead of Missouri.
At least, they're at least in a New Year's Day.
Right. Yep.
I don't know if they'd ever beat Texas had they played them again in the
probably not
Big 12 championship game, but they should have been in it at 12-0.
Yep.
The old Oklahoma teams would have won those games.
Well, this is not them.
That's my problem. That's what I'm concerned about.
I'll never forget. I went on VSiN before the season, and one of the Amal, one of the guys that was on the show, was like, he was like, I just can't believe the negative attitude. Look at all these games they've won, and they were all like under Stoops or Riley. And I was like, Amal, this is not those teams. No. This is a team that just went 6-7, and so. We went 10-3. It was a good year.
It was a good year.
I don't think Oklahoma people realize how dog shit this was.
Oh, that's right.
And how far it has to come still, even though they were much better this year. Yeah. Much better.
Much better.
So,
but it's not even close to what it's got to be.
No.
And I'm sorry. It's just not. You can't do this in any conference. They've proven that. They did it at Kansas. They did it at Oklahoma State. Well, you sure as hell can't do it at LSU. You can't do it at Missouri. You can't do it against Alabama. You just can't.
Nope.
And they've got to clean this up. And, it's just so hard to watch them because I really think they're trying. I love the effort.
Yeah. I thought they played extremely hard.
They cared last night. They wanted that game badly. They didn't just, but they've got to get that Oklahoma mystique back. And I tell you, I saw them lose it after Switzer left.
Yep.
I'm seeing it again. Guys, we went into a deep abyss for about 10 years and the same shit's going on.
Yeah.
We got extremely lucky with Riley because we had tremendous quarterbacks that could overcome this shit.
Yeah,
we don't have it now. Are we going to go back to these 8-4, 9-3 type things because we have lost that mystique that we had?
The last step is always the hardest. When you're at Oklahoma, you can get it to this kind of level, but getting it over to that next level is always the hardest thing to do.
It is. So it's very, very hard. This has Texas.
Yep, absolutely. That's right. Well, We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Disappointing to lose, but it's over, and I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep over it. So, all right, guys.
I didn't lose any sleep over it. None.
All right, we're going to get out of here today. Hopefully we have a better day than yesterday. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Everybody, thanks for joining us, and we will see you right back here tomorrow.